You may take your seats. What a happy day. On behalf of Elizabethtown College, let me welcome you to the installation of Elizabeth Betty A. Ryder as the 16th president of Elizabethtown College. Welcome to our platform guests, our board of trustees, our college community of students, staff, faculty, and administrators, our valued alumni and retirees, and friends of the college. An extra special welcome to Corbett Ryder, Betty's son, who is here to celebrate this momentous occasion. And also, I would like to welcome all who are joining us remotely to mark this significant event in the life of Elizabethtown College. Many of you know that Betty has been with the college for over 30 years, and undoubtedly she served and led from the start in her quiet, confident, most authentic way, seeking always to elevate the lives of and strengthen outcomes for those within her sphere of influence and beyond, whether as a faculty member, registrar, provost, or now as president. In my mind, Betty exemplifies what Robert Greenleaf wrote about in his series of essays on the servant as leader. Borrowing from Greenleaf's language, the servant leader is servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. She is sharply different from the person who is leader first, perhaps because of this individual's need to assuage an unusual power drive or to acquire material possessions. For this individual, it will be a later choice to serve after leadership is established. The difference manifests itself in the care taken by the servant leader to make sure that other people's highest priority needs are being served. The best test is, do those served grow as persons? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants? How fitting that this servant leader, Betty Ryder, will carry Elizabethtown through to our celebration of 125 years of education for service. Betty, it has been a true honor and privilege to have worked with and learned from you these last 7 years, and I look forward to the years ahead. I know that I speak for our campus community, alumni, and friends when I express my sincere gratitude for the dedication and commitment you demonstrate every day to us and to Elizabethtown College. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite you all to view a brief video that captures the personal side and values of our 16th president. Enjoy.
To the Elizabethtown College community, What an amazing year it has been. Together, we have worked hard and have much to reflect upon and celebrate. As an institution, there's lots to look forward to in the coming years as we accelerate growth and innovation to make an even deeper impact on the lives of our students, graduates, employees, and the community. Elizabethtown College has been home to me for more than half my life. I came to E-Town as a young professor of psychology and taught hundreds of students over the years. I hope they learned as much from me as I learned from them. I intentionally put down roots in this community so that I could live where I worked and be part of the community that serves as home for our students. Wherever possible, I engaged students in my life, both in and out of the classroom. I raised my family on this campus and in this community and became involved in activities on and off campus. I worked with countless colleagues from many different areas of the college who influenced me in profound ways. I gained perspective and wisdom from every role that I held and from every person with whom I interacted. I am humbled and energized to be leading this remarkable institution as its 16th president. The same core values that first drew me to this campus continue to motivate me as this institution's president today. But what pushes me even further is knowing that we are even clearer today on the power of those core values to equip our students to be leaders in their communities and positive influencers. Our motto of Educate for Service has shaped generations of E-Town students to lead and serve others by sharing their intellect, energy, and passion. Higher education as an industry has been changing rapidly for more than a decade now, and Elizabethtown College has leveled up to meet the needs of our students, both undergraduate and graduate. As an institution, we have become nationally recognized for our academics, research, and high-impact experiences, all while remaining a community united behind a shared mission and a deep pull to contribute to the world. And importantly, we continue to look forward. We're preparing our students for jobs not just of the present, but of the future, with the skills and knowledge necessary to bring value to their work. I count myself lucky to be on this campus every day, and it's why I and many others before and after me choose to be Blue Jays, always.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, President Ryder, to your new post. This is the second time I have welcomed Dr. Ryder. The first time was 30 years ago on a lovely spring day, much like today. Dr. Ryder had applied for a job teaching psychology, and I was chairman of the psychology department. Elizabethtown College had, at this point, already conducted a nationwide search for a new faculty member, a developmental psychologist, and we received dozens of applications. The applications had been turned over to the psychology faculty to narrow the pool to a few candidates for final consideration. We came up with one, Dr. Ryder. So far above the rest, there was no second choice. I wrote her telling her she was our top choice and asked her not to commit herself elsewhere for the fall semester without first visiting Elizabethtown College. She came, and I welcomed her. She met the psychology students and faculty, interviewed with administrators. She exceeded expectations, and the psychology faculty recommended hiring her. However, I was directed not to make her an offer until we had a reliable count on student enrollment for the fall. The job offer was put on hold. Then I began making weekly phone calls to Dr. Ryder, pleading, please be patient. We should have a final decision soon. It won't be long now. Spring turned to summer and fall was rapidly approaching when the college offered her a faculty position, and she accepted. In the classroom, Dr. Ryder refuted the old theories that the mind of the newborn is a booming, buzzing confusion, that the mind of the infant, a blank slate upon which experience writes, that the mind of the adolescent is cooked up in the cauldron of conflict. Rather, child development was seen as an orderly process, each age with its own coherence and consistencies. I saw her introduce her course once autobiographically, a series of photos whose captions could well have been lecture topics. This is me at 6 months. This is me at 6 years of age, at 16, at 26. Each lecture, the distinctive characteristics of that age. The message, to paraphrase St. Paul, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. Now that I am adult, I speak to children. I listen to children. I understand children. So popular was her course in developmental psychology that the college offered another one, the psychology of women, for which she literally wrote the textbook. Early on, Dr. Ryder showed the administrative ability by shepherding Elizabethtown College through a 10-year accreditation review. Had she asked me, I would have advised her not to accept this assignment. Success goes largely unnoticed. Failure is catastrophic. The review determines whether or not the college stays in business. If a college loses accreditation, there's no place to hide. There's no forgiveness. Elizabethtown College passed and got full accreditation, thanks to Dr. Ryder. I recently asked a new faculty member here at Elizabethtown College if he had met my friend and colleague, Betty Ryder. Oh yes, he replied. She interviewed me. It was a transformational, life-changing experience. I had never heard transformational used in an interview. So I asked him to explain. I was comfortable. The transformation was I didn't feel like a stranger. I felt I was home. I don't know if we can package genuine interest, but we can recognize it and welcome it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa Filbert, and today I stand before you as an alumni, and I'll tell you a little bit about where my story started and why my experience at E-Town was so very important. So in my role today in the community, I am the Chief Executive Officer. Maybe I should demote myself to Chief Operating Officer. Chief Executive Officer of the Community Action Partnership of Lancaster County, which is Lancaster County's largest nonprofit organization focused on anti-poverty work. And the reason that that's important is because my story with CAP started as a customer. I know what it's like to be in the waiting room of our spaces because, like a small group of adults who graduate with their advanced degrees, I am a part of a 1% club. I was a teen parent, and 1% of teen parents actually achieve a post-secondary credential. And the reason that E-Town is so important to me is because it was essential to my journey. So I started my time here in Lancaster over 20 years ago, just working to support my family and really curious about what the future would hold. I had the opportunity to re-engage as an adult in my post-secondary career. And I did that when my oldest daughter was in 8th grade. And I spent 5 consecutive years working full-time, being a mom and a wife and a student, and graduated alongside my daughter, who graduated high school while I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I took a 6-month sabbatical from writing papers. Wow, It was a fast 6 months. And I really realized quite quickly that I was missing being in the classroom and that there was more for me to learn and to explore. So like most folks who are in the community benefit sector like I was, we think master's in social work. And I was actually at a church service and I heard a preaching that was happening, and it made me reimagine what my work in the community should be. And I had heard about a new program at Elizabethtown College, Masters of Strategic Leadership. And something in that moment changed the trajectory of my life. And I decided to rescind my acceptance to another institution for a master's in social work and came here for a master's degree in strategic leadership. I was the first class, so no one can take that from us. We were the first class that graduated with our MSL. And the reason I share that story as we celebrate President Ryder in her work is that there is a need for advancement and opportunity for professionals like me who are reimagining their place in the world and what they can contribute. So in getting to know Betty and really just having the lived experience of being an adult student on this campus, my life would not be the same. When I graduated with my master's degree, the opportunity to go back to CAP, no longer as a client, but as a senior leader, presented itself. Within 2 years, I was their chief operating officer, and in 2019 became the very first Afro-Latina CEO that the company has ever had, doing really big work in this community with people at the center. And one thing that I know about Betty is that it is about the people at the center. So there's a quote that I want to share that resonates for me as a student who experienced this time here and this learning, but also resonated with me as a leader, and I hope, Betty, it will serve you well. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men and the women to gather the wood, divide the work, or give the orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and the endless sea. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to speak today on behalf of the Elizabethtown College student body. We value the faculty-student mentor tradition here at Elizabethtown. There is no better leader than someone like President Ryder, who has spent 3 decades advising, teaching, and mentoring students. President Ryder was actually one of the first people I met the first few weeks as a first-year student, right when classes started. I really remember it like it was yesterday, and I can't believe that it's been 4 years, and here we are from Alpha Hall to this stage. So she's continued to be someone I can turn to for help or academic advice throughout my 4 years, always taking important time out of her day to talk with me since day one when I started here. My first memory of President Ryder actually goes back to even before that, when I was here at E-Town for my first year summer orientation. Her impact and engagement in this institution continues to elevate it, and it has for many years throughout her tenure here. President Ryder is just an incredible resource for students all across the board on this campus. In addition to serving in a variety of roles on this campus, President Ryder has consistently been connecting with students as well throughout her entire tenure. That connection, that mentoring, and that engagement has been true in my experience, and I know that it reflects the experience of current students and alumni as well. This is true through events like the annual tree lighting, when President Ryder meets with student senate leaders, when she cheers on our EC athletic teams at games, and much more. President Ryder has shown for decades that she is an integral member of this campus community, and when she succeeds, students succeed as well. President Ryder has devoted so much of her career to this institution and the students that it serves. We thank her for her years of dedication here, and we welcome her continued leadership. Blue Jays always. Congratulations, President Ryder. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here as an alumnus. I met Dr. Betty Ryder in the fall of 1996 during my sophomore developmental psychology class. Little did I know then how profound an influence she would be on my future. In my junior year, I began working as her TA. She was in the midst of writing her textbook, Our Voices: Psychology of Women. I started doing some work on that and some of the most exciting aspects of the textbook, the references, and the index. I also started babysitting her young son while she was working late nights. By my senior year, her inspiration and encouragement drastically changed the trajectory of my life. She encouraged me to shadow a semester with a school psychologist at a local elementary school, which put me on a potential career path. She encouraged me to apply to graduate school, which had not been on my radar until that point. She encouraged me to do a poster presentation of my developmental psych research at the Eastern Psychological Association conference in Providence, Rhode Island that year. Another thing that was completely not on my radar and completely out of my comfort zone. She encouraged me to take a summer position working as a counselor with children with behavioral disorders at NYU, knowing that after graduation I would be returning to that area of the country. I ended up working there 4 summers while I attained my graduate degree. And lastly, she encouraged me to take on a larger role working on the study guide that accompanied her textbook. And you can only imagine my surprise when she mailed me the final copy and my name was on the cover along with hers. I am so grateful for her belief in me and what I'm capable of, and for pushing me to my true potential that I would have never done on my own. I only have Betty to thank for my 20-plus year career as a psychologist working in a hospital in Providence. That's right, the same city where I presented my research so many years ago. It's amazing how life works like that sometimes. I can only hope that I impact the families with which I work there as much as she has impacted my life. Betty has all the attributes to be a successful president of E-Town. Her ability to motivate, inspire, encourage, and instill confidence in others is exceptional. Her leadership, unmatched. I'm going to leave you with a quote of another of her former students, also one of her TAs, a member of the class of 2000. Kelly Forey's Donahue's words are most befitting of a president. Dr. Ryder always led by example. She made us believe that anything was possible. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all who are present and to those who are joining us remotely. Dr. Ryder, in recognition of this memorable occasion, I would like to remind you of the profound words first spoken in 1986 by the wise student scholar Ferris Bueller. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So let us stop and look around. While much can be said regarding your numerous academic achievements, I would like to acknowledge some of your equally important accomplishments that have prepared you well for the role of Elizabethtown College's next president. You have spent a lifetime being a dedicated daughter, a supportive sibling, an enthusiastic educator, a fierce friend, and a loving and encouraging mother, all while maintaining a wonderful sense of humor. You may recall that we first met not in the hallways of this college, but as preschool parents in Mrs. Pope's Fox's room at Elizabethtown Child Care Center. A simple introduction
Hi, I'm Betty Ryder. During the 22 years since then, I have witnessed the unassuming introduction, "Hi, Betty Ryder," echoed dozens of times and in all types of situations. It encapsulates one of the attributes I so admire, your humbleness and your willingness to just be you and to be present in the moment. In 2001, at a children's Halloween-themed birthday party to my 4-year-old daughter, each year to new staff and faculty at their orientations and welcomes, to numerous students during the years when you chaired the Academic Standing Committee probation meetings, that simple greeting and your compassion and fairness helped to put them at ease. In 2009, when timing was critical and you worked behind the scenes to ensure that a terminally ill student would be able to receive their diploma ahead of the May commencement. During many difficult dialogues and challenging meetings, at numerous new student orientations, open houses, admitted student days, and student senate meetings. In 2022, at last year's Spring Student Life Awards, while mingling with first-year students at the dessert reception. During the many early mornings, long days, and late nights shepherding our institution. You continue to be humble and faithful Elizabethtown College servant leader, Betty Ryder. Thank you for the years of service you have already dedicated to our E-Town College community, and best wishes as you lead the college in the years to come. My hope for you as the next years fly by, may you be able to stop and look around once in a while. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Dole, and it's my pleasure to be standing here today representing the Board of Trustees at Elizabethtown College as we welcome President Betty Ryder as our 16th president. Welcome to her family and special friends. Greetings to the faculty, staff, and students who are with us today. President Ryder, Betty, as we all know her, has been with the college for more than 30 years and has proven she not only has the academic credentials in research and the academic discipline, but also the leadership skills, which you've heard so much about today, and the commitment to the values and the mission of Elizabethtown College to be its next leader. Over the course of her tenure with the college, Betty has proven to colleagues, students, and to the board her commitment to the college. And in the short term as the interim president, she has continued to foster growth in accordance with our strategic plan. She has listened closely to the faculty, the students, the staff, to assess the needs of the college and to continue to move us forward. My personal connection to the college spans over 50 years. The first link to the college is that both of my parents were on the faculty here. My father taught math for almost 30 years. My mother taught accounting for about 20 years. My father could never understand why boards, the trustees here, would go and appoint men. Remember, for the first 120 years, it was all men, and my mother couldn't understand that. But the men who were never or not recently in the classroom, he thought the best leaders of our college would come from the ranks of faculty who understood students and their needs and their goals. So today, although my parents are no longer with us, I could tell my dad that we have a recent faculty member at the helm to direct our college. She is a proven leader who is a well-established teacher and researcher. Today, I can also tell my mom that this competent and capable leader is a woman. They can both be very pleased. So thank you, President Ryder, for your years of dedication and loyalty to Elizabethtown College. The board commits our total support to you throughout your presidency and look forward to a period of growth and strength in our beloved college. Congratulations, Betty.
afternoon. I'm honored to represent the faculty on this historic occasion, the installation of Elizabethtown College's 16th president, Dr. Elizabeth Betty Ryder. No college constituency at E-Town could be prouder of our new president than the faculty. Betty Ryder is one of our own. She spent many years as a member of the Department of Psychology, becoming a model teacher scholar. She authored popular courses and textbooks on human development and the psychology of women. Betty chaired the department and then took an unusual path to a college presidency. She served as registrar, or maybe not so unusual if you think about what registrars do. Most importantly, they keep traditional students and adult learners on track toward graduation. But that process requires knowledge of federal and state regulations, accreditation requirements, financial aid, veterans benefits, administrative technology, and in managing transfer credits, the academic programs of countless colleges and universities. It also demands attention to customer service, which our Office of Registration Records is known for. In her roles as registrar and later on, Director of Institutional Research, Betty obtained vast exposure to trends in higher education and the labor market. Along the way, she and I co-chaired the college's 10-year reaccreditation with Middle States. This prepared her for service as Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, where she helped establish numerous undergraduate and graduate programs, accredited and otherwise, including those for physician assistants and nurses. When the college faced an abrupt change in leadership early last year, Betty stepped in as president, determined not to be a caretaker, but rather a catalyst for moving Elizabethtown forward. Within a year, she realigned the college's position in the academic marketplace. More than that, she is building an intellectual community in which everybody belongs. She has made the college Elizabeth's town. As a longtime professor who has served under 6 presidents and innumerable strategic plans, I'm proud to say that Betty is not the first faculty member who has served the college in times of need. Not only have faculty provided academic leadership, but we have bolstered admissions efforts, raised funds, obtained grants, and repaired the college's finances. Some of us have even taken pies in the face. Betty Ryder is the latest to demonstrate the faculty's talent, commitment, and dedication to the college's motto of Educate for Service. The members of the Elizabethtown faculty congratulate you, President Ryder, on your installation. We offer our support and our sincerest best wishes for your continued success.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here today to introduce my mom as the 16th president of Elizabethtown College. I want to give a special welcome to my grandmother for being here today and to our friend Dawn Keck for bringing her. Elizabethtown College has always been a part of my life. I took swimming lessons here as a baby at the college pool. I went to the child care center right across the street. I went through the E-Town School District, and when I was in high school, I took enough classes here at the college that I was technically a full-time student here as well. My experience with the faculty and students at E-Town was very positive and set me up for success in college and now in my career. So I know E-Town fairly well, but I know my mom even better. My mom is passionate about education at all levels, through pre-K, through college, and graduate school. When I was growing up, she made a point of building educational opportunities into just about everything we did, anytime we traveled to new places or even while sitting at the dinner table. She made me try out a variety of classes, camps, and sports to see what I liked. Not everything stuck. I gave up on wrestling at age 6, but I still retain my love of cross-country running. My mom always encouraged me to think and speak for myself and act with respect and kindness towards others. She made sure that she was preparing me for the world ahead and setting me up to succeed. I suspect that creating the scaffold for others to be successful is still an important part of her leadership style. One of the things that inspires me most about my mom is her hardworking attitude. Even on her days off, she'll be working on planning our next trip, doing yard work, or reorganizing one of the rooms in the house. Her dedication to everything she does is contagious to those around her and inspires myself and others to improve every day. I also know that my mom is very determined. Some might call it stubborn, but she prefers to say determined. Once she has an idea or a goal in her mind, she is set on seeing it through. I am certain that she will apply her love of education, supportive style, and determination to ensure that Elizabethtown College is successful during her presidency. And now, please join me in welcoming my mom, Dr. Betty Ryder, to the podium.
Dr. Elizabeth A. Ryder, by the powers given to me by the Board of Trustees, I do declare you the 16th President of Elizabethtown College on this day, April 27th, 2013. Please accept this symbol of your office and wear it with the knowledge of our faith in your true governance of the college.
Wow, it's going to be tough to top all of that. I have a number of thank yous that I want to make. Thank you again to our students, faculty, staff, alumni, community members in attendance today. I really appreciate your support and your presence with me. I want to recognize the trustees who came in early for this installation. I especially want to recognize Chairman Ed Loveridge, Vice Chair Mike Spangler, and Bob Dolan, who just spoke a few minutes ago. I knew both of Bob's parents when they were faculty members here, and so having Bob here represents some historical continuity for me. I was honored when Vanessa Filbert, the CEO of a Community Action Partnership of Lancaster County, agreed to be here today as well to represent both the community and the graduates of our School of Graduate and Professional Studies. My colleague Fletcher McClellan is one of only 10 current full-time employees who have been at Elizabethtown College longer than me. When I arrived, Fletcher was going up for tenure and promotion, yet he took the time to get to know us newbies. Over the course of our careers, there were times when Fletcher was my boss and times when I was his boss. Regardless of our roles, I always appreciated Fletcher's dry wit, and that is the only thing that got us through that Middle States accreditation process. Former Presidents Ted Long and Carl Strickwerda are both here today, and I want to thank them for their support. I was on the search committee that brought Ted Long to campus, and I gained my seat at the senior leadership table under Carl Strickwerda. I also want to thank Del Ellsworth for being here as he brought me to E-Town so many years ago, and alumna Vicki Watson for returning to campus. She was one of my most memorable psychology students because she always asked great questions in class. And outside of class, she very capably watched Corby while I was working. And I don't know if you caught it in the video, but there was a picture of Vicki and Corby on a playground when they accompanied me to a conference in Florida on the teaching of psychology. We have great memories, and we've all been brought together by this amazing campus. Others, Stephanie, Eric, Christy, thank you all for your words of welcome and support. Thank you to my amazing team of senior leaders, most of whom are sitting right down here in a row. They bring their talents and energy to work every day, and I couldn't do this without them, so I really appreciate you being here. Of course, I'm beyond thrilled to have my son here today. This was really the only reason that I agreed to do an installation was so that he would have to travel across the country. He took about 12 hours to get here yesterday. And as he shared, he grew up with Elizabethtown College as the backdrop for his life. Finally, my mother is here with us today, and my father is with me in spirit. I am wearing his signet ring around my neck to make sure he has a good spot for today's activities. My parents were rock solid in their support of me over the years. My father thought I could do anything. My mother, well, she thought I could do anything as long as it met her definition of safe. So for any questionable activities, I would first get my father on board and then let him break the news to Mom. It worked out much better that way. Mom is amazing in her own right. She has always had a creative flair, and she let me express my creative side by playing in our dirt pile with water and lots of trays and utensils, making dirt pies and anything else I could imagine. She insisted that my sister and I learn to play the piano, and we practiced on her mother's Steinway Grand. I want to share that after being in our family for over 100 years, my mother and I are donating this Steinway to the college later this year. It's currently at the Steinway factory being rebuilt and refreshed, and when this work is completed, it will be delivered to the college where we hope many more hands will get to practice on its ivory keys. So please join me in thanking my mom for this generous gift. I just got the finger wag. I'll be in trouble later on. Okay, as we approach this 125th anniversary of the college, I believe my responsibility as the 16th president is to ensure the institution not only survives, but thrives beyond its 125 years. Doing so will allow future generations of students to experience what those in the past have experienced, a relevant education in a supportive environment that promotes lifelong success. In the introduction to their book, called The Post-Pandemic Liberal Arts College, Stephen Volk and Beth Benedicts quote Michael Searle, who's the president of Paul Quinn College, as saying, "In this new environment, higher ed institutions that are less in love with tradition and more in love with their students will be the ones that thrive." Well, E-Town is an institution that loves its students. While there's been tremendous amount of change at Elizabethtown over the last 5 or so years, some more positive than others, we've never compromised our steadfast commitment to our students and their futures. As president, I want to be clear on my perspective of who we are and how we will be successful as an institution. For most of Elizabethtown College's 123 plus years, it has excelled at being a comprehensive institution, offering both breadth and depth, and offering both professional and liberal arts education. In Ralph Schlosser's History of Elizabethtown College, he wrote, quote, that the college during its first 10 years of its existence moved in the direction of teacher training and commercial education. As early as 1905, students in commercial education comprised 50% of the senior class. These were the roots for who we are now, and for what gives us value and strength over institutions that focus on only depth or only breadth, those that offer only professional training or only liberal arts education. Our predecessors explored many different course options, including agriculture, going so far as to purchase chickens and put up a chicken coop. They did this at that time because they wanted to offer applicable skills and knowledge to their prospective students and meet the needs of the surrounding community. As Schlosser wrote, because of the influx of students from the farm, an attempt was made to develop an agriculture department. Well, we no longer have an agriculture department today because demands changed and other programs evolved. But its existence demonstrates an important aspect of the past that is vital to us to recognize today. Like our predecessors, we've taken a careful look at our programs over the last 5 or so years, and we've asked ourselves some of the same questions. What is relevant for the needs of the community, for today's students, and for the future of the workforce, and for industries that may not even be established yet? Like our predecessors, we've shuttered or transformed a few programs, and we've added others. This is hard work, and it must be done if we're going to stay relevant, competitive pioneers in the higher ed environment. I applaud all of you who have rolled up your sleeves and done this hard work with us over the past few years. But just like maintaining a house or a yard, the work never ends. You finish something and you sit back and you want to take a break and you realize you've got to get to work again. Looking forward, there is no question in my mind that we need to continue the cycle of program review and revitalization. One thought leader of higher education suggests using the term program life cycle rather than academic plan or program prioritization, because life cycle more accurately conveys that there is an appropriate beginning, middle, and end for all programs and services. So if we think in terms of life cycles, it makes sense to ask, when should the cycle come to its natural conclusion? It's also time for us to lean in and embrace our identity as an institution that values both the liberal arts and the professional and pre-professional programs, an institution that serves both the traditional and the non-traditional student, an institution that offers various degree levels, and an institution that fosters a sense of belonging for all. These are the primary keys to our future success. They allow us to be and to act bold. Every student who earns a bachelor's degree from Elizabethtown College is a product of our special learning environment, that blend of professional and liberal arts curricula with knowledge, skills, and approaches that meld the strengths from both. Support for one is support for both, because both contribute to the overall success of the institution. Ultimately, we are not here so that one or another program is successful. We are here so the institution is successful for decades to come. Elizabethtown College will be successful by all of us working towards a clear and common goal. So in addition to having a clear understanding of our purpose, it means clearly understanding how we will define success. Success in the short term means that we reach fiscal sustainability by our 125th anniversary, which we celebrate in the 24-25 academic year. Success in the longer term will mean focusing on the student experience and outcomes. We can't lose sight of why we're here and who we serve and how we prepare students to graduate and generate impact through the skills and experiences they build here at E-Town. Getting the student experience and outcomes right is inspirational because this is where we change students' lives. This is where the transformation occurs. This is where students have experiences during their time with us that allow them to go out and change their world and their communities. This is where we thrive. To end, I want to return to the theme of change. The history of the college makes it clear that we have always had change. Perhaps what is different now is the speed and the size of the changes that must occur in today's world to remain relevant. 24 years ago, Ted Long, thank you for being here, wrote this for the 1999 History of Elizabethtown College's First 100 Years. Quote, "In this era of great change and challenge, we cannot thrive on minor adjustments to the enterprise." End of quote. Indeed, we cannot. We must be bold. Volk and Benedict's subtitled the book that I mentioned earlier, A Manifesto for Reinvention. They invite us to reimagine the college system and fight the systemic inertia that often prevents institutions from embracing change and becoming truly successful and inspirational. The authors challenge us to create an institution that is desired not because of its rankings or exclusivity, but for its outcomes and inclusivity. The kind of institution that says during orientation for new students, look at the student to your left, look at the one to your right, because these will be the students sitting with you at commencement. We are not here to weed out those who learn differently or had different K through 12 grade experiences. we're here to help every student learn, lead, and live their best life. Elizabethtown College has allowed me to live my best life for the past 3 decades, and I will do everything I can to lead us as a Blue Jay community to collaborate and innovate so that we can ensure the institution is here for many more decades of bringing best lives to fruition. Thank you.
Special thanks to each of you for coming this afternoon. This is indeed holy ground on which we are standing, and this indeed has been a holy service. And so it is fitting that we close with prayer this sacred time. Would you join me in prayer? Holy and loving Creator of all, in this season of new life and transformation and renewed hope, we have much for which we give you thanks this fine afternoon. We are grateful for the many things in life that nurture us and strengthen us, body, mind, and spirit. For the steady rhythm of the seasons, we give thanks. For this fine institution, Elizabethtown College, we give thanks. And for those who have gone before us and upon whose shoulders we stand, we give thanks. We acknowledge those who will come after, the next generations who will propel a vision into the future in new and relevant forms. We ask for your blessing and your wisdom and your guidance for them and for us. We are grateful for all who are committed to this institution, supportive alumni, dedicated administrators and staff, professors, trustees, and all who work with excellence, and our students, our reason for being. And now on this historical occasion in the life of the college, we give thanks that Elizabeth A. Ryder has carefully listened and discerned your call for such a time as this, to serve as the 16th president of Elizabethtown College. May the sacredness of her work bring light and renewal to her and to her colleagues. May her work release well springs of refreshment and inspiration, excitement. May each day find hope in her heart, approaching it with dreams and possibilities and promises. May the work fit the rhythms of her soul, enabling her to draw from a well of new ideas and a vision that will inspire. May she have the grit and backbone needed when the going gets tough. And may she always remember the power of a team greater than the sum of its parts. We seek your blessing, O God, on President Ryder to lead us to the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Kindle in her the creativity to journey with us beyond any old limits, holding nothing back. May she foster an environment that takes students on an expedition of courage and moral stamina to a high place where they can see beyond themselves to the common good of humankind. May they thrive. May the future come to them with gifts worth having, whole hearts, clear and learned minds, good friends, and deep, deep gratitude. Bless us all that we may support the vital work of this college to educate for service. May we never sharpen our minds by narrowing them, but rather become seekers, probing realms we have yet to know. Bless President Betty Ryder this day as she leads and as she serves with distinction. May she be fruitful, joyful, and courageous. We pray all of these things with the joy of new beginnings and much thanksgiving in our hearts. Amen.